Hey guys, I'm working on a process video and you're gonna see a lot of bumps in the road. So I'm starting with these 7-dot studio papers and you can see that I have that piece that I've gessoed and I really wanted to make it work. The piece of paper on the right hand side is what that gessoed piece looked like originally. I loved the texture of it and I wanted to fit it with these other papers, but I'm struggling right here to sort of get everything together. So let's sort of take a wander through this process and we'll see what happens for me. Those little circles are from a 7-dot studio paper as well. I've sped up the video because if we wanted to see the whole process, you'd have to get comfy, get your jammies, get a blanket, we'd be here all day. This was a layout that was never ending. I just struggled the whole way through. I'm distressing the edges of all these papers right now. I wanted to use both sides of the paper. That's why it's sort of cut in the middle and flipped over. I liked both sides. I couldn't choose. So that is some Prima chalk ink that I've used to distress all the edges. I will make sure I link you guys all the products I'll link to the blog, which will have the list of supplies and everything I used. So I'll make sure you can find everything there. Wow, I ink edges really fast. That's kind of amazing. So this is the first process video I've done, which is painfully obvious, and you'll see that in my camera angle sometimes. I'm still sort of getting used to everything, getting used to how I'm set up, where my hands are, where my page is. So I just hope you guys can bear with me and kind of hang out and see how it comes together. And let me know what you think. I'm gonna, work out some bugs, hopefully make some more videos. I can't stick things straight to save my life. Did you see that? I had to pull the whole thing up and start again. So here I am fiddling with those circles again. Those are, like I said, punched from another 7-dot studio paper, and I desperately wanted them to work. This is an extreme close-up of that piece of paper that I was working on. So I'm taking some Heidi Swap Color Shine and some gesso. I'm sorry, this is totally out of frame. Again, this is me not realizing that the camera had zoomed in. So I decided I love the texture and I love the idea of this paper. The color just was never going to work. Even with the gesso wash to tone down the original color, I just wasn't able to make it work. So I thought I would add some of the color shine, this a little bit of teal that's toned down again with a little bit of gesso. I hope I'm telling myself that you can still see the texture in the paper because that makes me feel better about painting over all of it. If you can see it, maybe just don't tell me. I don't know. Again, this is just one of those layouts that you have it a certain way in your head and the pieces just aren't coming together the way you imagine. So it was a trial and error for sure. A couple of splatters on the background paper just to tie in the color that I just painted. I'm sorry for the extreme close-up. I'll rearrange the camera eventually. So the stencil, again, was like never ending. So this is a Crafter's Workshop stencil and then some light molding paste from Prima Art Basics, I think. But again, I'll have all the supplies listed for you. And you can see I went to put it back in my jar and realized it was green from some of the ink that was on the paper, so I scooped it out because I don't need green molding paste. So here's the piece of paper that I painted, and the color is working a little better now. And I think you can still see enough. There's still enough left of what it originally was to sort of see a little bit of texture there. I'm not patient enough to wait for my paste to dry, so I'm using some Tombow to stick that down. Really silly, I should just wait, but waiting takes too long. I'm trying to decide if I should reuse some of that paste at this point. And still, again with the circles, like these circles are just never ending. And right now I'm struggling with that sort of one seam where both papers meet and deciding what I might do over there. Wondering if the other side of the circles will work, and that led me to getting this little piece of paper here. Again, all 7-dot studio paper. But when I pulled out that piece, I realized I quite liked it. Stenciling some more because I had lost a lot of my stencil, and look, I even broke it. Sad face. I think I'll survive. But one of the little bits of my stencil, I was obviously a little too rough, and I broke it. Sorry, my pink head's in your way. So at this point, yeah, this was realizing I didn't quite have enough of the stencil pattern showing, so I'm going over it to add a little bit more. Getting rid of the green paste. And at this point, throwing my hands up going, okay, what now? Oh, wow. Seasick flip through of the other 7-dots papers to see what might work and to see what I could add. And apparently now I'm just wandering my scrapbook room looking for papers. So these I really like. If you can see them a little closer, they have this sort of painted, whitewashed kind of look that's very close to what's on the right-hand side of the original background paper. And so adding a couple of those layers sort of really worked for me. I really liked all of these papers. I've been hoarding these papers for so long, using them is actually a big deal. And here I think the struggle with this layout was trying to jam as many pieces of 7-dot studio paper onto one page as I could. I loved every side of every piece, and I needed them all to be together, always, always, always together. And, you know, you can't put every paper on every layout. It's just not really the way it works. Here I'm wondering if getting some ink under the seam of those papers would work for me. Didn't really work. The tiny attacher to the rescue. Crisscrossing the staples like Sweet Girl's design does. I told her the other day I thought that was the best detail ever. Super simple, and I don't know why, so I just stapled them in like a little X with both staples. And it ends up looking really cute. So at this point, again, I'm thinking, okay, now what? You know, honestly, this layout came together over 3-4 days. It was really sort of feeling like the never-ending process. So I'm flipping through project life cards to see what might work and to see where I can add something. I know the story I want to tell with this layout, which is kind of funny. I'm doing something here that gives Brandy chest pains. Wherever she is right now, she's having chest pains because I don't have the photo yet. I know what story I'm telling on this layout, and I know what photo will go with it, but at the time I started the layout, I had run out of printer ink, and so the photo is just not sitting on my table with me right now. And I'm okay with that. It's totally fine. But yeah, it would give Brandy chest pains, so I just have to bug her a little bit about that. Again, flipping through more project life cards, looking for something. I don't know what I'm looking for at this point. I feel like I'm needing a little detail somewhere, and I just thought flipping through these cards, it would sort of jump out at me when I saw it. So I'm thinking that one might be the place for my journaling or my title. Now you can see that, again, I'm going to tease Brandy, but thanks to her suggestion, I flipped the entire layout. So this is based on a Sketchability sketch, and so I turned the whole thing. And all of a sudden I thought, okay, now I feel like, you know, it was a brilliant idea that she had said to me after I sent her the photo and said, I'm stuck, where do I go? Turn it, and add a big title. And I thought, oh God, that's brilliant. But you know, sometimes you need another set of eyes. I'd been staring at this thing for days. So I turned, and I'm using a placeholder photo at this point. This is just the size that I know my photo is going to be, so it's kind of hanging out there for me so I can figure out where I want everything to go. I decided to stamp the dates of this story I'm telling happened over a particular weekend, so I stamped both dates there, and then stuck my head in your way again to do a little bit of journaling with a brown micron pen. You'll see in a few minutes this journaling doesn't even stay. Again, the layout was never ending. Those little bits are the Project Life card that you saw me cut in half, and the top of 2 other Project Life cards. I believe those are Kaiser Craft, the 2 sort of wood grain ones. But again, I'll link to where all the supplies are listed. This is a sticker from, which sticker pack is that from? I'll link it for you. Sorry, guys. And so I decided that that little border, that little bit of extra color right where those 2 paper pieces meet up, that was making me feel better about that kind of void, for lack of a better word. Those are inked with the same brown that I've inked everything else with. Oh, this label. I putzed around with this label. I don't even know how long. I went through all those chipboard pieces looking for accents. Those are cork letters from Close to My Heart. And I can't line them up without getting right on top of the page because I don't do straight very well. I don't know how to do things in a straight line. And so I'm adding the title here. You may not see it in the video, but in the photos, when I get the photos onto the blog, and again, link to that, you'll see that I added some of the same brown ink on top of these letters, and I felt that that sort of helped them be a little more visible. These are thickers, just brown wood grain thickers. Started from the back, had it all planned out, had my title all planned, and yeah, you'll see. This, maybe this should be a what not to do scrapbook layout. Maybe that's a good plan for here. Don't do what I do. It's all good. It turns out in the end, you know, I'm okay with the layout in the end. It's just sometimes you gotta, you know, those layouts where you just have to force yourself to get over the hump and keep working until it turns into something that you're happy with. Sometimes that's the way it goes. And right now, sometimes you can't fit the word sometimes where it belongs. And so I had to move my entire title over. I was short half a letter, so I knew it was doable. I just had to move everything a little bit and have a little less space between the words so that I could fit the entire title sometimes in ice cream. Because the story here is about my kids going to the little store and we were camping to buy ice cream. And yeah, one of them, they were being quite nice to each other. One decided when they counted up all their money, well, if we don't have enough for 2 ice creams, just you get one. And so anyway, they were being, it was a fun story. They'd had a good time together. So, title is in. Even the dots on the eyes fit. Look at that. Barely. Barely. So I have some different ephemera packs on my desk at this point. I have some different bits and pieces that I'm trying to add in for embellishments. Those are old My Mind's Eye chipboard. I'm just trying to add. I'm feeling like it needs some embellishments somewhere, and I don't totally know what the best option is. You can see that I have to the left of the page, I have those black ephemera pieces from Kaisercraft. And something about the black just wasn't working for me. I had so much brown ink, and I just felt like the black was not working. That is just another piece of extra paper that I had sprayed with the same color shine, and I again distressed and inked the edges. So see, that covers up the journaling that I just did. And I'm taking this little sticker, which is a Close to My Heart sticker. It's from a collection that's quite old, but again, if I can link it for you guys, I will. And I'm just sort of looking for the best place to add it. And I believe it says life's little moments or enjoy the little moments. It says something like that. So it's, you know, it was quite a good sentiment. If it was so good, I should probably remember it better. But it fit at the time. I recorded this last week, so I don't remember it as quite as well as I probably should for the voiceover, but it's okay. You do these things when you can, right? It's all good. And here I have both those stickers stuck in there, and I feel like they look like a bow with all those two edges. And those I ended up choosing because I had a red border, and it sort of matched the sort of rusty little bit of red that's somewhere around some of the distressed edges of the original background paper. And this is another place where I fiddle for I don't know how long. It just wasn't coming together. At some point in this process, I get these stickers down and decide I gotta walk away now. You know, I need to sleep on this layout, or I need to burn it. Like at this point, it was like, something's not working. It's time to take a break. A couple more date stamps again, because I had covered those up. And that label, I just, now I cut it in half. Now I'm trying to put it in 2 places. If it doesn't work in one place, why would it work in 2? This is, like I said, it's like the never-ending process. Taking up more stickers. This is why I live by the saying, there's no mistakes, just excuses to embellish, because, look what's happening here. I've now moved the same stickers, what are we at, 8 times? They get in there eventually. They work eventually. And the word sticker that I wanted to use gets in there eventually. And look, there. Now there's even a little bit of red on both sides. So I'm flipping through just checking at some of the other stickers and bits and pieces that I had pulled out. And kind of flattening out the layout a little bit. I was starting to get, there I'm trying the black, doesn't work. I'm trying a red piece that doesn't work. I'm sticking my head in your way. Now my layout's out of the frame. I mean, at what point do you just say this is not meant to work? But it did work, and there's a couple of close-up shots, and here is the layout itself. I did finish it eventually. Like I said, it was sort of just a bit of trial and error. Lots to try, lots to play with, lots to do, lots of flipping, thinking, trying, rethinking, but sometimes this is the way layouts go. I've made maybe 4 layouts this summer, and so sometimes you got to push yourself to get over the hump, like I said earlier, but in the end it's done, the story is down, it can go in my album, all is well. Thanks for watching.